Alrighty there. Peace to everybody. We got Don Bishop, Atif. You in or you out? Trying to look for something I had right before I went live. Hey, Don Bishop hit a super chat. Thanks for that. District 120. So this is a little bit of a bugged out time. Did anybody see the link that I put in the community tab today? That was quite a link right there. Did you get a chance to check that out, District 120? What about you, Don Bishop? Did you get a chance to check the link that's in the community tab today? You've been at the Justice. So just for the record, right? Right now, China is requiring an anal swab for you to get into the country. Like that's how they testing you. That's how they testing you to see if you're all clear of illness. Self-out bill. Did you get a chance to check the link in the community tab today? Did you? So self-out bill, I guess you got an opportunity to find out what's going on in China. You need a, a clean test that you're clear of all illnesses, and they're requiring an anal swab. I'm saying that's a pretty good deterrent. Like I say, listen, that's what you could do. You want to deal with prison reform, right? You could close down all the jails. You just tell brothers, listen, we catch you committing a crime, we're gonna have to do an anal swab on you. Crime would drop to 0 tomorrow. Listen, man, you had a hood, man. Cats should be hanging their rags up, man. Like, wait, whoa. Yo, wait a minute, man. How did they figure that out? Like I'm saying, who is the doctor or the scientist that was sitting around one day? He was sitting around one day, wherever he was, he's in his laboratory, he's doing his his experiments, he thinks, oh, I know. Let's do an anal swab and see what we let's do an anal swab and see how that works. But I think they figured this thing out. I think they figured out how to deter all negative behavior. That you're doing wrong, we're gonna have to test you. But yeah, Don Bishop. Self-out bill, how can you switch the topic from that? How could you overlook that? See, I feel like listen, this is a public service right now. I'm letting everybody know. Like, just in case you was planning on going to China, you might want to know this. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. You gotta pay attention to these kinds of things. But yeah, Don Bishop, you brought up about Cuomo and his situation with the sexual harassment stuff. Yeah, Cuomo looks like he's in deep trouble. You know, the Me Too movement ain't no joke. District 120, well, from what I've seen, this is what they like. If you come to China right now, if you come to China right now from the outside, then you gotta take the test. Like apparently from the story that I read, like how it got out of control, is some people from Japan went over there and got surprised. Some people from Japan went over there and didn't realize that you're gonna have to take an anal swab in order to get into China. See, so that's why I'm telling y'all right now, just stay away from China, at least for the near future. Let's hope they don't institute that internationally. That's, I'm saying, I'm still wondering, man. Like, yeah, how you figured that out? Like, what made you think that? Oh man, listen, Yakub don't need no prison houses, man. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna tell somebody, yo, listen, man, we catch you out here doing crimes, you're gonna have to take a swab. The crime rate will drop to zero. Maybe not zero. We know because there's some people out there. You never know. But yeah, true self. That's all I can make knowledge born about that. But that is, for the new people that's coming in the room. Did you get a chance to see the link in the community tab today? Hold on, let me drop the link. Let me drop the link right here in the comment box for those that may have missed. For those that may have missed this right here, we gotta do a little PSA. Knowledge, I'm about to drop a link right here. I don't know if you've seen it. That's a link right there about a little something going on in China where you might want to avoid China for the very near future. Oh yeah, the article on technology. I'm gonna post that in the room right now, and then I still gotta post it. But yeah, that was another political technology. Here we go. So yeah, that link right there that just came up. The first link, check that out. That's a little public service announcement. That's a little public service announcement for anybody that might be planning on going to China in the very near future. You might want to know that. And then the second link, um, that's the news story in which the reporter referred to some of the little political intrigue that goes on down at the Capitol as political technology. Score one for Elijah Muhammad, my brother. Oh, Bunny Wheeler returned to the Essence today. And shout out to Bunny Wheeler. Does that mean that Snoop Lion is safe now? But did you see the link right here, Don Bishop? Did you just did you just check the New York Post link? I gotta let you know that I can't let you be like those other people that showed up and didn't know you had to take the test. Self I Bill, what was the sign for Bunny Wheeler too? He just that was just wait, what's these numbers right here? Quasar, Quaco, LeBron. You said Bob 81, Peter 87, Bunny 21, FDJ Beats, Knowledge Love. Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock, did you see the link? Right now I'm just doing this a PSA. See the title of this tonight, When the Fine Mist Distills. See, that's when, things is in a fine mist. You can't really see everything clearly with the naked eye. And then all of a sudden, you see what all of this has been about. When the rain, the hail, and the snow actually falls down on your head. When you actually hear the thunder, see, now you know what's going on. See, before, all I was in a fine mist. I didn't see what you was doing there. So question. I got a question. For all the people who had the different conspiracy theories, did you realize that this was the plan the whole time? Like, how many people had this on the list of things that was going to be caused by the pandemic? I mean, how many people, when you was thinking of all your conspiracy, let's see, the reason they doing this because of this right here. How many people was thinking, see this whole thing, so they can anal swab you? Yeah, listen. I don't know why they just don't say, listen, man, don't come over here. We don't want you. You could have just said that. You could have just said, look, man, nah, I'm busy right now. I'm coming. Oh man. Oh, that's the years that each one of them returned to the essence. Oh, all right. So yeah, Bob Marley returned in 81. So they didn't give no cause for what happened with Bunny Willie yet. Don Bishop said, as a first responder, to, they've been trying to force him to submit to all kinds of illegal operational needs jargon for some time now. Oh man. Oh man, listen. I can't believe they put that in the news today, man. But it's actually just, I don't make this stuff up, I just report it. 793rd. Did you see the link in the community tab today? 793rd. I gotta do a little PSA for everybody that comes in the room. Got to let you know I can't let China I can't let them sneak up on you like that. Oh man. I bet you mad flights to China just got canceled, yo. Yeah, True Self said, when the fine mist distills, that's when the veil is lifted. And you can see everything for what it is now. For all the experiences, it's not just the third eye, but it's the five senses. You know what I'm saying? The five physical senses, when you can detect something with one or more of those things. See, that's what happened when the fine mist distills. See, as it's being drawn up, you can't detect it really with none of the physical senses. Especially if you don't know what's causing that to happen. Like you might feel it get humid, but if you don't know what's causing that to happen, then you got to wait for it to distill so you can see what that was about. That's what's, starting to happen right now just across the country when you deal with, uh, how different states is trying to open while, the CDC is saying don't open. Now we getting down to the effect. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got cause and you got effect, you know, the the pandemic was really the cause. It wasn't the effect. I mean, of course, it's the effect of you getting infected or whatever, but I'm saying it wasn't the ultimate outcome, of what this last, year and change is going to mean. So, how we just getting down to the nitty gritty, what is school going to look like for the kids after this? You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, which companies is going to survive this? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that's not going to survive this the same way, you got a lot of people that's not surviving it. You got a lot of things, where, you got BC, you know, before coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that, just like here in New York, right? We got certain things that's been the case since 9/11. Or that's been, every town got that. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things, whether it's positive or negative, where it's like, oh, well, yeah, that's been the case since this event happened, or this person spoke on it, or whatever the matter might be. Rome Fetty. Self-Out Bill said this is a real life WWF script being played out on the masses. Just keep your head wrapped tight. Indeed, that right there, I had to say that's like a cheer off the top rope right there. That's like that's definitely the top turnbuckle. That's definitely top turnbuckle action right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, watching the news right now, it's like, yo, everything is purely sensational. You know what I'm saying? And I do think there's a little bit of a danger in that. Like, to me, it's amusing. I could watch the news now like I used to watch comedy shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch, I don't really watch TV. It's been a minute, so I don't really know what's but, you used to watch the Cosby Show or Martin or whatever shows y'all look at now. See, I can look at the news like that now. It just, it's hilarious. Like, if somebody made a reel, right? Like, if somebody made a video where you just put, like we was talking about, all the things that contradict. You know what I mean? Like, like, just take the mask alone, right? And you just splice the video so that you hear the dude saying, "No, we don't need masks. Masks not going to do nothing. Yeah, mask is mandatory. You know, uh, you need to wear 2 masks. No, mask mandate is lifted." You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, you definitely got to keep your head on a swivel right now, because we're dealing with one of them times where, and we had discussed this before, where you got a lot of information, but not a whole lot of knowledge. If there's a whole lot of information, study of this, vaccine trial of that, but nobody really knows nothing. You know, like even the experts, they just seem to be following a set of things that, you know, you might consider best practices under those circumstances in that environment. But it's nobody, like if you break your arm, you go down to the hospital, they hook you right up. What you said right here, Don Bishop, understanding the power or understanding the five senses, you build a clear eye or clouded eye while destroying the naked eye or understanding that's not understood. Well, no, you don't want to do that. You got to use them together. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to use your eyesight with your insight. You know, there's got to be a balance there. Because Quavo said 2020 was the reset. It appears that we're starting over, but they have us playing the same game. I mean, what does that? I was thinking about that the other day. Like when you say reset, right? What do we really mean by that? Like it can't, you know, and I'm not, uh, you know, I'm provoking thought right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying it's not a reset for everybody. Meaning, Bill Gates is not going back to $0. Like that's when you know when you reset something, then we all go back to donut. They not resetting. You know, like I understand. I think I understand what you're saying, but you know, we need to define what reset really means. You know, especially when this is, you know, the definition of that is the definition of the world that we're gonna be existing in. Like the Indians is not getting their land back. The colonial powers, they not giving their land back. I mean, you know, the reparations, the study of it or whatever is in the Congress, but at the moment, right now, they not resetting us to where we was. So by reset, you know, what is the meaning of that? The CDC said they coming up with new guidelines too. Yeah, like I said, you know, all of these things now we starting to see the effects and just starting, you know, and you know, let's face that fact too, that you know, it's no guarantee that we at the end, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, you got new variations and everything that's popping up right now. So, you know, is not talking like, all right, everything is over now. So now we could just measure what the effects is. Now it's ongoing effects. Man, that's a good question. If you made a movie about 2020, what would be the title? Yeah, I didn't think about the title. I don't think you need to be. I don't think you need to be fancy. You don't need special effects. Like you can just 2020. You can just put 2020, and like I said, you don't need no special effects. The question that I asked about it is, what genre would it be? Like, would it be a mystery suspense? Would it be an action thriller, a horror movie, a comedy, a documentary? What kind of movie would 2020 be? True self say control misunderstanding. And that's a that's a powerful concept right there. If you can control a person's misunderstanding, but that's what we in the midst of right now. You know what I'm saying? Being bombarded. We're being bombarded with all this different, like I said, a lot of information, right? But at the end of the day, is no knowledge really. You can't really say that you know anything. You know, like that's one of the things that even came up. We was talking about how Cuomo is in trouble uh, because of things that happened during the pandemic. That's one of the things that came out. That's one of the scandals that he had. That you know, even the reporting of how many people got sick and how many people passed away, right, wasn't a true number. It wasn't a true calculation. And so he gave us some information on that, but we didn't really know what was going on. See, this is one of the things where you start to see the fine line between all these different things that people try to say is knowledge. You see the difference between what knowledge really is, you know what I'm saying, and what, just information is, what just data is, you know what I'm saying? When you just know things, but you don't really you don't know it well. You don't know how to you don't know how to categorize it as what it is. And so you could, evaluate it and come to some type of useful conclusion for yourself. So you look at the news and they give you all this information, you know what I'm saying? There's really very little context. And so you can't really, like the brother said, your misunderstanding is under their control now. Like 793rd said that the little comedy reel that I was talking about, that somebody might have already spliced something like that together. Because he's seen something like that with the president mumbling and stumbling over his words. I mean, look, the man is 80. So, we gonna see some of that going on. You know. Black observation. All right, so Quizar Quaker is saying here that it'd be a reset, as in the appearance of how things is going on. What we call the new normal. You know, I mean, like I said, I agree with what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? In terms of there's gonna be major change, you know. Um But I'm just saying, is reset the right word? Reset, generally means, we set everything up again. But, this is more of a situation like a constrictor. You know what I'm talking about? Like pythons and anacondas, where uh, every time you breathe out, right, they squeeze in tighter, so now you can't breathe in. So they've changed the capacity that your body actually has to draw in oxygen. So, if you see my analogy here of me saying that the system is like that constrictor, so now something has happened where they just tighten the grip a little bit more. But in terms of a reset, you know what I'm saying? I just think it's one of the things where when you look at the word that you're using, does it really have the meaning that you want to convey? District 120 said a reset in our ways and actions. I mean, it's definitely going to be a change. So, Mrs. Fox said, uh, 2020, if it was a movie, it should be a horror movie. Quasar Quaco said the title should be First Score and the genre is suspense. That is I mean, listen, I can't disagree with you, man. It might be the first movie that's every genre. Grown Fetty asks, what is the science behind the government giving out stimulus money and PPP loans? What do you mean, what's the science behind it? Like, because, when something happens, right, is a lot of times is many different causes and it's many different effects. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, if you got diabetes, you didn't get diabetes only because you ate that ice cream yesterday. Like, you've been doing all types of things that made your system break down like that. You understand what I'm saying? You've been eating all types of stuff. This is not just one thing. And on the other side of that, right, it's not just one effect now. Now, it's not like now you got diabetes, so now it's just this one thing. Just your pinky fingernail don't grow like it used to. No, it's many different effects to it. You know what I'm saying? And, that's a political type of concept. That's a concept that's used a lot in politics, right? Is the win, the win-win situation, the win-loss situation, and the loss-loss situation. So anybody, if you on top, you constantly trying to create win-win situations where you win no matter what happens. So, is there all different types of effects? Yes, all different types of effects. You know what I'm saying? The one that I would put at the root, just in terms of an opinion, you know what I'm saying? It's a discussion that could be had. But what I would put at the root of it is that their system is failing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you just deal with the economy, um, you know, or when you deal with economies, right, within the capitalist paradigm, right, you got manufacturing economies, right, and you got consumer economies. So in a manufacturing economy, you doing a lot of things to make money from the outside. So you manufacture things and you sell them, right? And then you get money. So this is when you're looking at Mexico, when you're looking at China, these types of places, right? So in those places, they don't really need people to have that kind of money because we making money off of other people. That's where the money's going to come from. If anything, in that type of economy, you want impoverished people. So now they'll be willing to work, right? They'll be willing to put the labor into this manufacturing, right, for an extremely cheap price. That's what outsourcing is you ran out of people that you could fool into slave labor in your own location. So now you either got to bring in some new people, right, through slavery, through immigration, et cetera, right? Or you got to send the work to some place where they got these peasant types of classes like that's going to be willing to do the work for nothing. That's in a manufacturing economy, right? But we're in a consumer economy. And in a consumer economy, everybody makes money by selling stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like all of these different companies that you got right now, I'm talking about when you're just looking at the economy. Like, I know it's all other things, white supremacy, et cetera, et cetera. We get into that. But what I'm saying is that you can see the difference in our economy, right, from what is the biggest companies that's in America right now. And see, when the biggest company in America was General Motors, right? General Motors produces goods that you sell. But Facebook don't produce a good like that. They're a consumer company. Amazon, they're a consumer company. So with those companies, you got to have money in that type of economy. The people have to have money in order for the economy to work. See, at the end of the day, they gotta their the stimulus, right, is like you reinforcing the base of the pyramid. Meaning if you got the pyramid with the masses of the people at the bottom, right? And as you go up to the top, you got the 10%, right? But the 10% can't remain on the top unless they supported, right, by the masses of people that's at the base. And so in this economy, where the base of it is consumerism, is people buying Mac computers, people buying, cell phones, cars, et cetera, et cetera. That's all of the companies that they have, not all of them. Of course, there's some. But I'm just saying that that's what the stimulus money is for, is I guess now we could get into the part where we talk about the 10%ism in it. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy, whatever name you want to call it by. You know what I'm saying? Is this stuff is not really for the masses. It's for the 10%. But see, the money is laundered. The money is being laundered through the masses of the people. So right now, if they came out and said, look, we're going to give Target, this many $1 billion, then there would be a backlash against that. So what they do is they say, look, I'm going to give the people $1,400, knowing full well that the people is going to go spend that at Target. Like right now, if they gave out the stimulus checks, right, and everybody was like, yeah, you know what? Put that under the mattress. throwing that up in the bank, got a little rainy day fund right now, you would see them come on the news. You would see a press conference. Trust me, you will see a press conference with Joe Biden. This thing will go straight to the top. And Joe Biden will tell you, listen, you got to spend that money. We need you to spend that $1,400 because we need that to show up on the books of these companies on Wall Street. Now, is there other reasons? Yeah. Is there other effects? Yeah. But that's what I would put at the base of it, is that their system is failing. Right? Black's observation said to reset is to start from the beginning. So, we're not going to be starting from the beginning. That's why I said, in terms of, there's definitely going to be a change in, all the different interactions in society. You know what I'm saying? Like even how you deal with certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I find myself, where like the other day, this dude, he's talking to me and I'm like, yo, Scram, can you back up, son? Like, that's a reset. Yeah, well, not a reset, but that's something that's very, different. So if I Bill said, if you got this time and you ain't working on self, you missed the point. People who was in the pursuit of happiness better have start defining that based on self and not media and societal norms. I mean, um, that's another thing that I think has been a kind of casualty is, like that's another one of those words, buzzwords that y'all was talking about, societal norms. But I'm saying, especially now, where, you know, even referring to people, like if I say self-out Bill, let's say me and Black Observation is talking about self-out Bill, and I'll be like, yeah, the guy, he he drove from point A to point B. See, there's some people that get offended right there because I said he. Maybe you want to be referred to as it, or maybe you got some other word that you made up. So that's something right there. Um, Personally, I think, and this is also my opinion, just based on social things and social, I guess it's a form of social engineering, is that some of bullying, not all of it, there's some aspects of it that I understand. You know what I'm saying? But see, like when I was growing up, you know what I'm saying? Bullying was when somebody beat you up and took your money. Like when, you couldn't go over there on that block, or, you don't go play with those people at because you're going to get beat up. You can't have anything around certain people. If you got a bag of candy, they taking it. That was bullying to me. You know what I'm saying? Some of what they call bullying now is people establishing the social norms. And I know you got this thing with why we have to conform is because we got to be in the world together, no matter what kind of relationship you're dealing with. Whether it's a relationship with a woman, whether it's a relationship with your children, whether it's your relationship at your job, whether it's your relationship with YouTube and Facebook. When you get on there, a lot of times we don't read it, But they got that little agreement there. Well, look, this is the rules of engagement. This is, look, you can do your own thing and don't come on Facebook. And we could do our own thing. But if we're gonna be in this, whatever endeavor together, then it needs to be, we gotta normalize certain rules of how we come amongst each other. But, that kind of thing now, that's known as bullying. You know what I'm saying? Like if you a little kid and, you eat your boogers. See, that might be cool in your house where everybody there love you and you all cute and everything. But see, out here, you out here playing with the other kids. Yeah, they love us at our house too. Yeah, we all little kids. We all cute out here. That don't affect us, man. Listen, you can do that in your house, but when you out here playing with us, don't be digging your nose, son. And definitely don't be eating what you get out your nose. Now, see, little kids, they not gonna say it the way I just said it. That's not the little kids. They gonna pull out the long knives and cut deep. But that's one of the things that, to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a sociologist or a psychologist, but this is what happens when you leave your house and you go into big groups of people outside. We have to establish what is normal so that this thing can work. But that's, I guess that's a little bit more of a tangent, but in terms of what you were saying, and I don't know if a lot of people really have a sense of self. Especially, when we exist in a world where you got all these psychological concepts and everything, and everything is, constantly kind of second guessed. 793 said the movie for 2020 should be called Idiocracy, the documentary based on true story. Ah, man. We got Al G today. Al G. Oh, man. See, leave it up to Don Bishop to come up with a title like this. Don Bishop said the genre would be medieval times, the fight for the light of truth versus the veil of darkness and ignorance. You see, this is Self-Out Bill said, do I really think this scandal can stop a Cuomo presidential run? If carrot facing grabbed him by the people with and when anything goes from here on out, Americans mostly love the toxic behavior. I mean, I have to agree with you there that we definitely seen that anything is possible in that realm, you know. But now I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap for him, because he's losing, all of the people. Like, at the end of the day, you're in one of those mitts, right, where like you can't show a sign of weakness, or they going to get you too. Like, you around, you're not around, high functioning entities. You around lizard brain motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that, there's a feeding frenzy going on. But if in the midst of that feeding frenzy, right, we feeding on somebody and then we detect that there's some weakness in you, we're gonna turn on you, son. The feeding frenzy is now is you're the object. You're the subject of the feeding frenzy now. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm using that analogy to say that that's how politics is. I mean, a lot of, the, the world outside, the corporate world is that way too. Where, look, we cool in the gang and everything, but if you do something stupid, you know what I'm saying, and you about to lose your job, that means I could move up. So right now, I mean, outside of those women, uh, recanting their statements or, some of that nature happening, that, and then you gotta remember it's the nursing home thing too. And it's the way he played it. Like you played it, you played it like you was the maestro, son. You played it like you was the maestro. You writing books about how well you handled the pandemic and all of that. Like it's just look, 2020 for him, his movie is not the same movie from us. His movie, his 2020 is fantasy. Be Me came in. Black Observation said, and those of us who refuse to reset, what is our fate? Well, they got something for that. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Shit, why you tell me something? They were cornflowers, so you went right. Um, man, I notice I lose my thought quicker and quicker these days. You see if I catch back up to what we was talking about. All right, yeah, they got something for that, right? It's called being a resistor. Like what I'm saying is that they already move like that. They move with that in their plans. That there's gonna be certain resistors. You know what I'm saying? Like in other words, let's look at it from the standpoint of the missionaries and the mercenaries. The missionaries, they the ones that come with the propaganda, yo, this is the safe thing to do, this is what we gotta do, yo, we have to stand strong together and defeat this. You understand what I'm saying? Everyone, take your vaccines, wear your mask, do, all the stuff. That's the missionary, right? Now we know it's going to be certain resistors. You see what I'm saying? So you got the merchants, add the merchants in there too, right? The trader, that's another one of the traders, right? The merchant and the missionary, they come in to tell you how great things is going to be if you cooperate. But we already know it's going to be certain resistors. And so we brought the cannons too. We brought the cannons, we brought the gunpowder, you know what I'm saying? We got the swords out. And so, somewhere in the midst of whatever they dealing with, they got the other plans, but it's not time to spring it yet. See, because one thing in Black observation, you notice, I won't put your business in the street, but from being locked up, that's something that the system like to do, is they like to put the people against each other to enforce what the system wants. So in other words, we want this to happen right here. Now we know that this only applies to one or two people, but what we gonna say is, nah, man, we punishing the whole house until we get what we want. So now what happens? The people who don't got nothing to do with that, now all of a sudden they become the enforcers of what the system wants. And so when you look at the different times throughout history, that's what they did. They incited one part of society, right, to persecute whatever part of society they wanted to get rid of, right? So what I'm saying is, like, if you study, say, like the history of Nazi Germany, see, they kept putting so much propaganda that it turned the people against the Jews. And so it was the people that went out and attacked them. It wasn't the police that went out and attacked them. I'm not going to say it was no police, but I'm just saying that a lot of what was the violence against them before it really got to the wartime was coming from people, they own neighbors, sometimes they own children. You understand what I'm saying? Or let's bring it back home and talk about the situation, what we dealt with. You know what I'm saying? So right now, one thing that you see that Joe Biden and Bill Clinton do is they always bring up the politicians and the preachers, et cetera, the community leaders that was around in the 80s, right, in the early 90s, and say, well, they were the ones that was asking for all this police. They was the ones because, they was under siege from, all of this crime and all of this drugs. So see, it's the same type of thing where it's like they already know if they just come in with a heavy hand, like, yo, we just come in and shoot all y'all niggas. Now you lose the illusion, right? You lose the illusion that your society is based on, when your society is supposed to be based on freedom, justice, and equality, that is. If you in some country where, look, it's just what the king says it is or what the dictator says it is, then you might get away with that. So it hasn't reached that point yet where they're going to start dealing with the resistors, but soon, you might start to see things. You might start to see things like, well, listen, let's say it's 2022 already. And they say, well, look, the reason why we still in the pandemic is because some people won't take the vaccine. They're putting all of us at risk. Yeah, there's some, like for instance, you're starting to see that somewhat in the way people is reacting to Texas. Well, I've seen at least two different people that, they like famous people or whatever, and they release a statement saying, well, listen, man, we shouldn't send no vaccines to Texas then. Like if they good, they good. So, that's one of the first things to look out for, right? That's also Black observation. If you read a book called Animal Farm, you see how they did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That it was a dude, it's I don't know if you ever read it before, but it's animals on the farm and they have a revolution against the farmers. And then the revolution starts going left, you know what I'm saying? Because of all the different ways that power corrupts, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot about, the sheep, like on in the Animal Farm, like we call people sheep. In Animal Farm, they was the literal sheep. And that was one of the things that they did was they turned some of the people in society against the other people in society by telling them that they holding all of us back. So the people who resist, that's going to be one of the first things that you see if they're able to be effective is them turning, them using certain parts of society to deal with that. And then after that, they deal with the old trustee. You know what I'm saying? We got enough detention. Like they keep saying they building these detention centers. Listen, America got plenty of detention centers. New York State got over 100 of them. Bishop said, welcome back to the age of the class system. Have we ever left? By that, do you mean like the rigid class systems of Europe where you had to be born into your class? Or do you mean because no, we never left that. I definitely would say that. I would say welcome back to the age, like I'm saying, adding on with what you're saying, not disagreeing. I would say it's welcome back to the age of the peasant class. You know what I'm saying? Like the middle class at this point right now, I think is one of the things where you chalk it up to it was a noble experiment, but it don't work out for the 10%. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a certain way of running the economy and prospering for a while. You know what I'm saying? Especially, after you had the Great Depression and all this type of stuff. And so you needed to allow the people to get some stuff, right? You needed to allow them to share in some of the bounty, right, that is America, in order to restore their confidence, restore their belief in the system. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at the history, that's one thing they tell you is that, during the Great Depression and everything, you know what I'm saying? They really had to work hard to stop people from, picking up the communist mindset. You know what I'm saying? That under communism, this might not have happened. The influence of communists was strong during that period. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why in the 50s, you got them saying we need to clear the government out from all these communists. Or it's one of the reasons. So, because they needed to draw the people back up, right? So that they would believe in them, right? And, give all that they have and all within their power to make the system work. You establish a middle class so that now everybody feels that they got a stake in what's going on. The problem is those people start to make too many demands. Like all of a sudden, motherfuckers get middle class. Now they want healthcare and shit. Y'all niggas wasn't thinking about that in 1930. You was out there starving in the Great Depression. You wasn't thinking about that in the 1800s. When you was out there living in the mountains and all that, you wasn't thinking about that then. But see, we let you get a little middle class. Now all of a sudden you want free college. See, that don't work out for them. They figured out other ways. You know what I'm saying? Quizar, Quaker, Levon, he put right there. They figured out other ways to manipulate the market so that they could still make money. But I would say, we going back to a time where the middle class doesn't really exist. G said it's the controversial conspiracies left until Wednesday after the. But see, the reason why they come up on Wednesdays is because I do my best to keep that out of the class. You know what I'm saying? We, brothers come on and, Kevin Samuels and all the stuff like that. Like, listen, man, let's not talk about that during civilization class time. You know what I'm saying? But so we end up dealing with it, Monday and Tuesday, of course, is the class. So then I have these topics kind of saved up. But, today, China just dropped that bomb on us. For all the new people that came in the room, hopefully I did the each one teach one and hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? But for those that just came in the room, we was dealing with these two stories here. But we was dealing with this story here about China. In order for you to get into China right now, you have to take an anal swab so that they can test you and make sure that you're not sick. That's just a little heads up for you just in case. I don't know your plans, but just in case you was going to go to China, you might want to adjust your itinerary. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want them to sneak up on you. So I'm gonna let you know. If you look in the community tab, hold on, let me put this link up here again for you. Because I don't know if you could be too careful with this kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing as being too careful with this kind of thing right here. And knowing is half the battle. If you look at that link right there, it's telling you about how, if you're an international traveler, and you show up to China, they want to swab your butt. Yeah. How you put that in the paper? Like I'm saying, like, look, we got a new job. We got we hiring down at LaGuardia. They, listen, listen. How you put that job in the paper? Like, look, we hiring down. We hiring over at JFK and LaGuardia. For those that don't know, JFK and LaGuardia, those are the airports here in New York City. But we hiring, for the international hubs here at JFK and LaGuardia, we hiring, and the job description is we need you to do anal swabs. Like anal swabbers wanted. Listen, why you just ain't say don't come? But see, Mr. Spock, I figured it out though. They got this thing down pat. That's what the police need to do. That's prison reform, Mr. Spock. We need to put that in prison reform where, look, fuck all that locking you up. Fuck all that locking you up for 50 years shit. Catch you doing something wrong, getting anal. You getting an anal swab, and we catch you. So you empty the jails right out. You have, listen, it'd be 10 million college applications tomorrow. Oh man, what happened? Atif said everything that I was saying about the stimulus money and what it's for and all of that they said it verbatim on Bloomberg News. See, apparently the cats down at Bloomberg News is they kind of smart. They saying what I say. Nah, but seriously though, I guess check out Bloomberg News. You know what I'm saying? If you think I don't know what I'm talking about. Damn, now if you still ain't get your 600, you still ain't get the 600. So, hey, like they saving it for you. They saving it for you. Just in case you was gonna go out and buy Jordans and Newports with it, they helping you out. Yeah, right. You actually hit it on the head right there, Don Bishop. That what they call bullying now, we used to call snapping. Where, people make fun of people or whatever, but that's just regular. And that's something that I seen too. That's something that I seen within the whole diaspora of Black people, right? What I seen is that a lot of other people, they not used to that. Like they don't understand that, yo, listen, man, Black people, that's a part of our culture. Is, we snap. We don't produce Eddie Murphy and Martin and all of these cats. We don't just produce them by osmosis. We grow up like that. So for other, you know, uh, Black people, that's not from America, they come to America, right? And they get exposed to that and they think, oh, they don't like me. Nah, that's just our culture. That's how we get down. We do that in our house. LG is about to go in. Quizar Quaco said the Europeans never outgrew their feudal system. They just changed the names and wording. Kingdom became corporations, peasants, serfs, peons became consumers, peers became CEOs, CFOs, COOs, and such. Complete got a lot. I mean, I can't disagree with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just different people, or a different definition of an entity that is playing a role in the economy. You know what I'm saying? But there's things that exist right now that coincide with what you're saying in terms of things from the feudal world, right? Was transformed and got a new representation in the capitalistic world. You know what I mean? So we still got certain things like uh we all live in counties. That's from the counts in the medieval, in the feudal system. You got the counts. We still, when you live in a place where you renting, right? You still got a landlord. So a lot of these things still exist, but they got a little different name, and maybe the capacity of how they operate is a little bit different. But it's still the outcome is still the same. What you said right here, you seen the brothers fighting on the train that started over mask wearing. Now I didn't see that, but that's the type of thing. What I'm saying is that as you start to see that, now this is when they could come out with the goon hand, meaning the police. They could come out with the goon hand now, right? And whoever didn't have a mask on, they well, look, you causing trouble now. You know, now you get the outrage, the psychology where we make you think that this was your idea. So now you get the people, right? The people is clamoring for the government to do something about this. Yo, it's being fights on the train every day, man. Yo, you gotta do something. Okay, what we gonna do? All right, if you ain't got the mask on, we gotta lock you up now. Public safety. Mr. Spock said operating under Admiralty maritime law, which you got to add on right there. I'm talking in a minute. I can't recall exactly what I said that coincides with that. Yeah, Al G said they're looking for herd immunity. I mean, that's another one of them things that's information, but you really don't have no knowledge on that. Like they don't really even know if herd immunity exists. Complete victory is the result of eliminating the confusion. That's a high power statement. I'm catching up here in the comments real quick. Did y'all get a chance to check that link? What's going on? I'm just telling you, if you got China on your itinerary right now, you might want to adjust your plans. Listen, LG, you gotta click the link, man. You gotta click the link, man. This is a public service announcement right here, man. I can't let them sneak up on the brothers. You can't let them sneak up on the brothers, man. And I'm just saying that, beware that if you hear about this new job that like it's easy to get, all you gotta do is go down there and they hiring, you might want to ask them. You might want to ask them what's the job description before you get down there. Oh man, listen, that right there, man. Who knows, man? They took one link down. The link, hold up. See, they already knew. Nah, it's not down. It's mandatory for foreigners. It says here, hold on. China has made anal COVID-19. This is in the Post. This is this is New York Post today from Jackie Salo is the writer here, and says China has made anal COVID-19 swabs mandatory for all foreign travelers arriving in the country, a report said Wednesday. The government has claimed that such tests provides a higher degree of accuracy than other screening methods for the virus. As part of the new travel requirement, there will be testing hubs in Beijing and Shanghai airports. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Is that before or after you go to baggage claim? Oh, man. Don't call it China no more. Call it Brokeback Mountain. Li Tongzheng, a respiratory disease medic, said that the anal swabs are better because the virus traces stay longer in fecal samples than they do in the nose or the throat. But what's somebody doing traveling? Like if you're traveling internationally, what are you doing with fecal samples? Yeah, man. Listen, what happens, man, when this is a story, like you work for the newspaper, they come and say, look, we need you to write the story. Oh, man. You see, this is what I'm telling y'all right here. I don't know if y'all seen this part, but this is what I'm telling y'all. The move comes after Japan asked China to stop performing the exams on their citizens when they enter the country because the swabs cause mental anguish. So see, I'm trying to save y'all from the mental anguish of showing up in China. Oh man, listen, man. I think they took the cake, man. This is the funniest shit I see. This is the funniest shit I seen in 2021, man. Some Japanese reported to our embassy in China that they received anal swab tests, which caused a great psychological pain. This is what Japan's chief cabinet secretary told a news conference. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin, however, defended the screenings as science-based. The tests are in accordance with the changes in the epidemic situation, as well as relevant laws and regulations. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it, ladies, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen. If 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 something happens, like if you on your way somewhere else, like say you on your way to India, and say you was coming from California, you was on your way to India, and they say, listen, man, we're gonna have to crash land in China. we're gonna have to do a little stopover in China real quick. Like, look, if you on orbit.com and you traveling someplace, they like, look, we got a cheaper flight, but you gotta have a little layover in China. Oh man, I gotta stop, man. I gotta stop. I might mess around and get a strike. I might get a strike on this video. It's not me though, man. It's not me, it's them. It's definitely not me. True self share. Only virtual trips. Only virtual trips to Japan right now. I mean, only virtual trips to China. That's my bad, Japan. I didn't want to. I didn't mean to put that on you. It's my bad to the Japanese. So Mr. Spock was saying when he was saying about Admiralty, maritime law, I meant the ways of the world. It also coincided with the brother's statement about things, kingdoms, etc., just changing names. They are operating under Admiralty, maritime law, and not common law. You care to expand on that? What is Admiralty, maritime law, and what is the common law, and what is little compare and contrast right there? I don't know. See, maybe your computer is working against you. Your computer is blocking out that link to see if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even know that, right now it's not very prudent. Not very prudent going to China. Complete. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't even want to bring them up. But listen, everybody, this is my plan. They've given me an idea. They've given me an idea. This is how we can end. This is how we end crime. This is how we can end it. Forget about the prison. You get caught, we're not giving you no 50 years. We're not letting you off that easy, son. We're not letting you off that easy. Catch you doing crime, we're gonna have to swab you. College would be jam packed tomorrow, man. I'm telling you. What's Ninja Nerd Lectures? That's another channel. So the guy on Ninja Nerd Lectures mentioned that COVID can be passed through fecal oral transmission. Let's stop and think about that. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? You cannot, you cannot, yeah, exactly, Algie. Pause. Oh man. Oh Quaker said, if that's the test, what's the treatment? Listen, everyone, everyone. But this is what it is. Where's all my conspiracy theorists at? I just want to know, in all the conspiracies of all the things that you thought that they was doing this for, did you know that one of the outcomes of this pandemic was going to be anal swabs? Because I never would have thought of it. I don't recall nobody bringing this one up, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, listen. We don't want to talk about man about it. Not right now. Oh, man. Quaco said maritime law is dealing with trade, like which lane certain people may use for commerce and those that others cannot. It's all about control. Admiralty deals with those who decide and command who get access and who gets denied. Okay, so and this differs from the common law in which ways? Atif said the courts have deemed without merit and frivolous lawsuits that contend that the gold fringe adorning the flag conferred Admiralty maritime jurisdiction. Oh man, not Roswell, New Mexico. Not right now. That would be bugged out though, right? Imagine right now an alien. Imagine right now an alien crash lands in China. Just picture that. Like, hold up. Before we start speaking your language, before we all that, wait. We gotta test you. We gotta test you. Oh man. Yeah, we might need a parental advisory on this live right here. Can't really call it. Was Quaco, you didn't add on to the other part yet about the common law. You still there, Quavo? Mr. Spock said, we don't think that some treaties, contracts, etc., are binding when they are Admiralty maritime deals with actions internationally by sea and deals with all commerce and maritime contracts. You say common law is constitutional and for the most part non-existent. These is a little bit new concepts. I mean, I understand the maritime law uh having some relevance because at the end of the day, when you deal with all of these different uh especially when you go into what the Europeans refer to as the age of exploration, right? These is all ship captains. You know what I'm saying? The you know the like the 13 colonies, etc. You know, these people is all the captains of these voyages, and this is the authority, or at least part of the authority that they ruling by until constitutional law is established. But this is a little bit different explanation that you've given me right here. You said instead, statutes, state laws, rules, procedures are what is used, which are not constitutional. Quaco said common law would be like governance upon land, a given domain and range, like tort law and civil law. Yeah, these is a little bit so Quaco said maritime deals with the seas, common law is upon the land. Complete says sounds like a trillion year search. I mean, possible. And so to Quizar Quaco and he Kareem, right? How does this, the legal setup that y'all explaining, right? How does that impact us? How does that impact us right now? I wish the God IB was here too. On a more serious note, I saw another story in the news today about there was another story pertaining to there's some provision that's in the Voting Rights Act that's I don't know if some states is trying to strike it down or something, but it's some provision that, according to the story that I read, it was saying that it could, have a negative impact, right, on Black people's voting rights. You know what I'm saying? Or the de facto, because, there's laws, everybody's supposed to vote. But, we know that de facto, a lot of things still happen. You know what I'm saying? Did anybody see that? Like I don't really understand it. I didn't read all into it and research it to really understand it. But I know the God I be is he's up on all that type of stuff. So Mr. Spock says tort law still falls under commerce, and it will be hidden in the US code somewhere you can never find it. So Complete said the Constitution is based on trade and commerce. I mean, that is something I was getting ready to ask y'all. He, Kareem, and Quizar Quaco, right? How, where does the commerce clause in the U.S. Constitution, where does that fit in to this Admiralty maritime law y'all talking about? That's one thing I don't like about this Zoom, man. It's like a lag time. Uh, there's a lag time in the interaction. See, the problem with the other app is it kept kicking me off. So now I'm like, man, I tried this out. Quizar Quaco said, when traveling to said foreign land, the traveler would be under maritime law. Once the traveler arrives, he must abide by that land's law, such as the swab. Ah, man, listen. You better go over there, you better say you Moorish or something, man. I had to tell him, nah, man, listen, I got diplomatic, I got diplomatic community, man. Man, listen, I'm indigenous. I'm whatever I gotta be to get out of that. Man, listen, live to fight another day. So complete got a law. You said Article 1, Section 8, that's the Commerce Clause. And is the Commerce Clause, is it short enough complete where you could put it in the comment box? because I know it says, Congress has the right to legislate on anything that travels through commerce. I'm not sure, that's not the exact language, but if something is, transported from this place to that place through commerce, because of commerce, dealing with commerce, et cetera, then Congress can legislate on that. G says, celebrate Black culture beyond February, a show by Black people for all people about the Black experience in America. Watch Soul of the Nation, the new 6-part series from ABC News with John Legend. John Legend. Hosted by Sterling K. Brown. New episode each week. First episode now streaming on Hulu. So this is a new show that's coming out? I mean, I don't watch too much TV. I don't have Hulu. 6-part series. And John Legend and Common is the dudes. Yeah, I don't know. On face value doesn't sound like one kind of thing. So wait, what is this here? A chief said by tax protesters, I guess it's some part they got cut out, is that an American court displaying an American flag with the gold fringe is in fact an Admiralty court and thus has no jurisdiction. Courts have repeatedly dismissed this as frivolous. In the United States versus Green Street, the court summarized their finding to this argument with, unfortunately for defending Green Street, the court is not a determinant for jurisdiction. Complete said the international airports like JFK become foreign territory once you pass the gate at the airport. Yeah, I know about that. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you're just in the kind of limbo right there. That's what I was saying. Because imagine they be in JFK with the swabs. Like, look, we just going, let's save everybody the time. Instead of you getting to China, because that's gotta be a double whammy right there, son. Like first, you gotta take the test. But then, what if you positive? So now after you've taken the anal swab, you can't even get in the country. Oh man, listen. This is a day right here that's gonna live in infamy. Infamy. You said when you go to an embassy, consulate, or the UN, you're in foreign territory. Yeah, I know about that. So this is the eighth. What is it? It's Article 1, Section 8. This Section 8 to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imports, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. So this is the Commerce Clause. Yeah, we'll see the type of people that pop up on it. I don't know if enough non-celebrity people is being shown these days. People that, you're not a celebrity, you're not president of this chapter of Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a GoFundMe where you're trying to save the rabbits in your locality. You know what I'm saying? Like just the people and what the people is, you know what I'm saying? So like some of this stuff ends up getting out of touch. We talking about the Black experience, and of course, John Legend, he's Black, so he's having a Black experience. He's knows other Black people. He's a part of a Black family and all these things. So, he's a part of the Black experience too. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying he shouldn't be in it, but like if that's what you headlining and stuff with, if I'm saying like as the marketer or whatever, like if that's how you marketing this thing, then it kind of makes me think like, yo, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Spock said there's also a wealth of information out there on how this Constitution has words that are not written in it, but interpreted that way. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like separation of church and state is not actually in the Constitution. Like I think the wording of it is Congress shall make no law like pertaining to the establishment of a state religion or something like that. But it's interpreted to mean separation of church and state. That's a whole other. You're right about that. That's a whole topic. You can spend the money on that. You know what I'm saying? I think the aspect of that is very relevant though, right? Is how that pertains to the redefinition of what freedom is. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of the things that people want to be free to do. And I mean, you free to do that. You can go do that, but it's that you want uh, governmental, societal, economic um, uh, you know, past approval. You want all of these other people to be bound to support you in what you free to do on your own. Like, free means free. Means you free to rise as high as your ideas can take you, and you free to sink as low as your ideas can take you. But a lot of things that's you know, like, in America, you got people that's like, yo, they want to be free to buy a Big Mac, but is that really freedom? That's what I'm saying. Like, some of the things uh, some of the things that's presented is marketed to people, smoking cigarettes, all types of things is marketed as, this is about your freedom. But in reality, you know what I'm saying? If you're doing something that's, going to be detrimental to you, not saying just smoking cigarettes, but whatever it is that, different things that in America now, this is supposed to be freedom, and we all are supposed to adjust our minds to understand, whatever it is that you want to be. Freedom at that time meant you was free from the king. You was free from that feudal system. Freedom meant this land right here, wherever this plot of land, this is your land. These tools, right here that you use to plant your crops and stuff, those are your tools. The seeds that you plant, those are your seeds. And whatever you grow, you get to keep and decide what you do with that. But see, now, we deal with a situation where, see, like the internet, this is freedom now. Like when they go places, and we want to introduce people to freedom, we give them an iPhone. This is what freedom looks like. So I think that's a actually important topic. You know what I'm saying? You know, because when you look at that and you take it to the level of our community, the Black community, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things, you know, that's how it's marketed. Is that, yeah, I'm doing this because I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm free. This is America. Whatever. But at the end of the day, this thing is still imprisoning you in 1,000 ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you free to smoke crack, but the crack is imprisoning you. So I think, that's an interesting topic to me. Oh man, Atif, that was a gunshot. I don't know if y'all see Atif. I don't know if y'all see what Atif has just come up with a new logo for China Air. Thumbs up. This is a day that's gonna live in infamy. So this is some more to the Commerce Clause right here, that Congress has the right to borrow money on the credit of the U.S. to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and Indian tribes, or to establish uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the U.S. Mrs. Fox said there are also more clauses in the article that speak of military and maintaining a navy, which means money. But I'm saying, though, how does the Commerce Clause fit in to the Admiralty law? Because I'm saying specifically because you said that the constitutional law is weak and that the Admiralty law is strong. So, like, how do these two laws work together? You hear, Mr. Spot? Like, how do the Commerce Clause, right, that's in the U.S. Constitution, how does it, like, how does it work with the Admiralty law, the maritime law, being that y'all said that they both deal with commerce, right? But you said the constitutional law is weak and the maritime law is strong. So how do these two laws work together? And how do it really, is this some of what you're talking about when you're talking about the standing for reparations? The legal standing for reparations? What happened to Quaco? You still out there? All right, so Complete said the federal courts derived their exclusive jurisdiction over this field from the Judiciary Act of 1789 and from Article 3, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Congress regulates Admiralty partially through the Commerce Clause. So what Complete is saying here is that the constitutional law is stronger than the Admiralty law if Congress is regulating Admiralty. Y'all out there? Where's Mr. Spock and Quaco? Then Quaco checked out. But did anybody see the story that I was talking about in terms of the voting rights case? Hold on, let me see if I can. All right, so this right here, hold on. Let me, my screen right here. It should be coming up in a second right here. Supreme Court leans towards approving Arizona GOP voting rules challenged by Democrats. The Supreme Court confronted the growing partisan divide over voting rights Tuesday in an Arizona case in which Democrats are challenging two Republican-sponsored rules that appeared likely to win approval from the justices. One rule calls for throwing out ballots cast by voters who arrive at the wrong precinct on election day but want to vote there anyway. The other forbids ballot harvesting, making it a state crime for anyone other than family members, caregivers, or postal workers to collect and return mail ballots. In their comments and questions, most of the justices said they were in search of a middle ground position, blocking new restrictions that could have a significant impact on Black, Latino, or Native Americans rather than automatically invalidating any rule that has different impacts based on race. Both of Arizona's rules were in effect during last year's election when Joe Biden narrowly defeated then President Trump in a previously Republican-leaning state, which also elected another Democrat to the Senate. But since then, Republican state lawmakers there and in other GOP-controlled states have proposed dozens of new rules that could make it harder for Black people and Latinos to vote. The Arizona case, Brnovich versus Democratic National Committee, has drawn attention because it marks the first time the High Court will write an opinion on how to apply a key part of the Voting Rights Act that Congress adopted as a compromise in 1982. Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act forbids election rules that result in discrimination against voters based on their race or ethnicity, but it is unclear what that means. Republicans in the state of Arizona say that cannot mean that any rule can be deemed illegal if it can be shown to disproportionately affect different groups. Washington attorney Michael Carvin, representing Arizona Republicans, said the court should uphold state election rules as long as voting is equally open to all groups. He cited as an example the requirement to register to vote in advance, which may exclude more racial minorities than white people. So this, like I said, I really, the article is kind of long, but in terms of exactly how that's, you know, going to impact Black people, I don't know. So Mr. Spock said there are statutes that are used. Did you say statutes that are used written by legislations that are not constitutional? And this is the way it just works now? You saying, well, let me ask you what you're saying.